The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
The Cryptid Files is a weekly discussion and debate covering all things cryptid. Mysterious and terrifying creatures are our passion. Join us each week as we bring you groundbreaking interviews and accounts, info from research in the field, as well as data and experiences of our own. From the widely known cryptids to the most strange and obscure, we want to believe. Do you?
And welcome to the Cryptid Files. I'm John.
I'm Cindy, and we are your hosts for the show.
Unfortunately.
You could do so much better.
So I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I hope everybody's, enjoyed it, because you know what is coming. And I hate to say it, but fall is on its way.
Oh, you can feel it.
It's going to go like this: Halloween, skip Thanksgiving, Christmas, because that's the way it is every year.
Yes.
So.
And I'm so excited. This is like my favorite time of year. And we've already been out on a couple little hikes in a really freaking awesome area. We did a few lives this week, you might remember.
Yeah.
But, yeah, chasing down some leads.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was beautiful. And I wish the pictures and videos could do it justice, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, I wish we could share them in chat, but we really can't. Poor Spreaker won't let us do it. And
I know. It'd be so fun.
It would.
It'd be great.
It really, really would. But so tonight we're going to talk about Bigfoot story time.
Got it. Yes, we are going to have Bigfoot story time.
Yeah, we are going to have some Bigfoot story time tonight. It's more of things we've experienced, and
I have some other stories from around the United States and Canada. Yeah,
I was going to say, and the globe.
Yes, we do. And we just want to harken back to, Bigfoot, because he is the OG cryptid.
Yeah.
And probably the most logical as far as believability goes.
Wait a minute. If you're going to say OG cryptid, I would think Donkey Kong first.
Donkey Kong?
Godzilla?
Yeah.
No, King Kong?
Yeah, no.
No?
No, that's not a cryptid.
All right.
And Sasquatch
fiction?
Has been, yes, it's fiction.
I don't know the difference.
Sasquatch has been around much longer. Much, much longer.
Oh, yeah.
He's been around since the days of yore.
And then before.
Or so they say. Like maybe even biblical times, yeah.
All right.
So we've had an interesting week.
So where do we even want to start? I mean...
Well, we can first start by our little excursion, because this week, look, I'm always looking for awesome places to go.
Well, why don't you go? Why don't you start?
And I'm always looking to follow leads. Yeah. And we've got one we're chasing. Kinda. It's relatively new.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty much chasing it. So we decided to try to get back to an area this week that we've been looking for a way into.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really completely by accident following up this lead. We just kind of went to the end of the road and kept going. And what do you know? We ended up where we needed to be.
Yep.
And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It's just like another world when you get out here a few miles into the woods. We're about, 4 miles? 3 or 4 miles?
Something like that, yeah.
And we've got further to go. We have not even gone as far as we can. Not even close, because I think there are some walking trails at the end of this path path that we're following. So we'll see. It goes in pretty far, and we can take Squatch One down through there.
Yeah, pull a little Squatch One.
Sometimes sometimes they're iffy. We've been through some iffy things, some extremely iffy things.
I'm surprised we haven't had to replace any suspension yet.
I'm surprised we haven't had to replace
Tires.
Anything. We need to replace those tires. Yeah. So if you guys want to contribute to the modification and
we need like a lift
upgrade.
Kit, some 35s on there.
You know where to find us. Because
mybankaccount.com.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was interesting.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out initially and like, oh my God, there's a Bigfoot.
No.
It doesn't really work that way. But, we plan on actually going out at night, possibly tomorrow night too, to this area. The view's ridiculous. And
I can't wait till the leaves fall. We'll be able to see. You'll probably probably be able to see 3 to 4 sets of mountains layered on top of each other, and they don't call them the Blue Ridge Mountains for nothing.
It's beautiful. It is, and if you haven't been, you just don't know what you're missing. You can feel this place too had some energy to it. Don't you feel like?
No.
See, I really do. I felt such a weird, like, there are certain places I go and I'm like, this is really pretty. It's nice. There are certain places I go, it's like, I don't know. But then there are some places I go, I just feel this strong connection to. And this is one of those places where I just feel like I could just stay there for days. I know that's silly, but I do. And I don't know. I feel like this is a really good lead, and it's one of the areas we've always discussed. So we're excited about it. We'll keep you guys updated, and we can do lives up there, which is rare, and you guys know that.
Just in one spot, but the one spot that we want to be in, we can do lives.
Yes, we can. And it's completely it's very rare for us to find service. I think we're just high enough up on this one particular spot where we are able to do some lives. So maybe we can do a nighttime live up there. It'd be great.
I think so.
Maybe we'll actually get something.
So
let's
explain the creature a little bit for those that don't know. Okay, some of those people have never heard of a Bigfoot, and maybe they call it. Yeah, I'm just saying. Some people call it different. So without looking into Bigfoot wiki on the computer, he's pretty much anywhere between 7 to 12, 13 feet tall. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from a grown adult, anywhere from 700 to 1,500 pounds. 700 to 1,500 pounds. Hairy, muscular, humanoid. Doesn't look, kind of similarities to an ape, but looks more human. His stride, or his gait, if you will, is very long. I mean, he can probably take a step that's probably 6 feet long.
Yes, 5 or 6 feet on
where we
average
take
step.
Anywhere between 2 to 3.
Yeah, they can clear a normal size road in like 2 strides.
Yeah, in about 2 strides. So, I mean, and this creature is ridiculously strong. Sense of smell is incredible. Eyesight during the day and at night. It's hearing, everything. So this is
he's a superhero.
Pretty much. I mean, we don't know if he's bulletproof. We haven't gotten that.
He's pretty bullet resistant, from what I understand. I mean, of course, everybody has weak spots, but
I'm sure
it's going to take a lot to put that guy down. I mean,
so why don't you start with the story, and I will be right back.
You got it. Okay, so we are looking up stories from around the United States, and I found a few good ones I think you guys will like. The first one, it comes out of a place called, okay, and I don't want to like screw this up, but it's a place called, because it's a Native American place, Akulavik. And I'm not sure exactly where that is. I'll have to look it up. But it says Maggie Cruikshank of Akulavik has an incredible story to tell. Late in the afternoon on a rainy, windy September Saturday, she and a cousin went out from Akulavik to pick berries. We moved around a lot because we were looking for big berries, said Crookshank, a 46-year-old language teacher at the
I think you need to visit that language teacher.
Yes, at the Catavik School Board. My cousin noticed something. She thought it was a hunter, but I ignored her because I wanted to go home while the sun was still up. Then she started to be scared. I got up and looked to where she pointed. It was a very large animal, a Bigfoot. The creature was black, hairy, and without any clothes. Taller and larger than a man, said Crookshank. It walks like us, but not standing straight like us. It can jump and crawl.
Strange.
And its footprints measures 40 centimeters. Other people on Akulavik have seen the creature too.
What did you say? 40
centimeters
long?
Yes.
So that's like, I'll have to do the math on that. 40 centimeters. That doesn't sound right.
That's what it says.
I'm going to look into that real quick before I open my mouth.
Other people in Akulavik have seen the creature too, according to Crookshank. A group of walrus hunters who had just returned with their catch were preparing to hide their meat under the rocks for the winter when they saw the Bigfoot. Someone else noticed it at the airport. Wow, Bigfoot was taking a trip.
Probably going to Hawaii.
Maybe. Other people have reported odd collections of caribou bones piled in the hills outside town.
So for those that don't know, 40 centimeters is 15 inches.
That's about right.
Actually, it's 15.74, which is almost 15 and 3/4, which is almost 16.
That's pretty
insane.
Yeah. An elder found what he said were human bones in a cave outside town and suggested to her the remains might be the work of a Bigfoot. And just last week, apparently, someone spotted fresh Bigfoot tracks. Someone else reportedly saw the creature standing on top of a mountain. It's possible the creature has been around for some time. There are people telling me they suddenly remember they have seen that thing before, said Crookshank, like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and even 60 years ago. They saw it. They just never reported it. Crookshank has learned a lot of hullabaloo involved in taking Bigfoot sightings public. The photos and footprints she posted on Facebook have drawn significant attention, including a great deal of criticism. Nobody gonna believe until the video is revealed, commented a Facebook user named Arctic Charles. The photo Crookshank posted shows a hand with a yellow measuring tape stretched across a rough-looking footprint made in spongy ground. It's clear the photo is real, and the muddy imprint indeed resembles a footprint, but footprints don't make for good sighting stories. Some Facebook users have been calling for something more substantial. And I can understand that. But we're going to take a look at this print, even though you guys can't
understand that, because being a paranormal investigator myself, the calling of proof, data, evidence, whatever you would like to call it, is important. But if you get a footprint, you're probably lucky you got it. I mean, yeah.
It's not bad. And you know as well as I do, photo doesn't pick it up as well as
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'll give them credit for finding it. I mean, it looks pretty, I don't know, that's pretty big.
And evidently the
15
encounter...
3/4 inches.
This encounter really affected their emotions, they said. So it really messed with them. And, you know, I mean, them being out, especially berry picking, things like that, people don't, you know, you don't have... emotions affected like that if you is something you're familiar with,
right?
I mean, even if you spot a cougar, it's holy crap, that was cool, you know. Yep. And maybe a little fear, but nothing like, my God, you know, right. I'm really messed up, right. So you know, I mean, I can see that.
I got a story. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so this is on BigfootEncounters.com. And this is in our state of Georgia, and it says north of Dahlonega, Lumpkin County, Georgia.
Love it. That's so close.
The side road may have been Dockery Lake Road, or it may have been FS 654, which is Forest Service Road, which sits east of Highway 60 north, the lake in the camping area.
Yeah.
Now, I'm only going to read it as it's written. I'm not going to try and fix anything, so bear with me. I want to tell you about an incident that happened a few months ago in fall of 2006. My girlfriend and I were parked and had some pretty heavy conversations. To break free of the tension, I suggested we get out of the car and walk. I set the brakes on the truck and we got out, locked up and headed down the road, hand in hand, enjoying the crisp air. She chatted on nonstop. There was a moon out, although I couldn't see it yet. We walked by flashlight. Pretty soon I smelled a skunk. It got stronger and stronger, but the smell changed to a rotten smell. Maybe garbage. That is hot and moldy, mixed with skunk spray. I thought a camper had left trash out or something. We walked on a ways, not wanting to meet up with the skunk. I suggested we turn back to the truck because we had gone around 2 bends in the road and couldn't see back. You know that funny feeling you get when comfort and safety suddenly seem important? So we did about face and headed toward the truck. That is when we saw the figure. Man, it was right out there in the middle of the road at a distance of the furthest beam of flashlight. Talk about a David and Goliath sight. It was just standing there looking at us. I know you won't believe me if I tell you how tall the sucker was, but I'm 6'3" tall. Played basketball with guys much bigger than me. I know this was at least 8 feet, maybe 9 feet tall. It must have weighed around 500 pounds. Just massive across the chest and biceps, standing there in the middle of the road. It's true. The thing swayed back and forth like the head of an owl when it's looking at something. You know how an owl moves its head from side to side like that, as I'm doing it, back and forth. This thing did that, and you know we've actually heard stories of them doing that
many times.
This thing did that, moved that way, and in the flashlight beam, it had reflective eyes like dogs. It never moved towards us. It stayed in place, swaying. It took a minute to register. I started back, not believing my eyes, and my girlfriend freaked into scared yelling, which really unnerved me, especially in the dark like that. Her scream also unnerved the Goliath, for he or it turned and stepped off the side of the road, down over the embankment and out of flashlight range. 1 step, maybe 2, and it was gone just like that. We were just talking about that.
Yes.
Mind you now, to get to the truck, we had to walk past the place in the road where this monster stood. How spooky is that? I was ready to cut and run the rest of the way to the truck, but my girlfriend was terrified and couldn't make her legs move. She was shaking and hanging on to me, which didn't help me. Brave man that I am. So she gathered herself, hanging on to me around the waist, and I scanned all the area around us up ahead with the flashlight and told her to run fast. But I was literally dragging her with one hand and showing the light with the other. The way back seemed to take a long time, but it was only seconds because we got to the truck, and dude, I couldn't make my keys work. I fumbled around for a few minutes trying to accomplish something between her screaming instructions and my back to the road, which I didn't like. Do you know how hard it is to unlock the car door with one hand on the flashlight and a woman hanging around your neck and the keys in the other hand? Picture it. We didn't see the creature again, but we didn't stick around either. We moved like it was after us. I'm telling you, these things are giant with a capital G, and the sight alone is hard to figure. There is nothing in my life that prepared me for such a sight. It still is like surreal to think about, and doesn't help when people laugh and think I'm nuts. I know what we saw. I own a business in town where we are a successful business. People and active in our community. I would appreciate it if you wouldn't refer to us by name or identification, especially my girl, because she's not on the board of education, and if She is on the Board of Education. This guy, I don't know what happened. The guy started off good, and then I just couldn't read it anymore.
Maybe he just got so freaked out retelling
We
it.
don't expect anyone would believe this. Nobody hereabouts would. But we thought it ought to be reported.
Yeah, you're trying to read Southern. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm glad you read that one because guess what?
What?
I've read that one several years ago.
Did you?
And when I used to take trips up here, I have been on the search for that particular road.
Well, now you got an idea.
Yes. And, I mean, we know the area.
Dockery Lake Road or FS 654.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're on it. It's on 60.
South of us.
Yeah. It's, you know, when you're going past Blood Mountain and you keep going down that road and you go past DeSoto.
You know, I think I've been to DeSoto Falls, but I can't remember.
We didn't walk on it. We just went through the parking lot and turned around. Remember when we were looking for that one road?
No.
I was looking for a road when we went down there, where all the twists and turns are when we stopped at Blood Mountain with Cade.
And
we kept going
we had
further.
to go pee outside near that trail?
Yeah.
We had to stop and we had to go pee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's down there.
Sorry for those hikers that stepped in my pee.
I don't think they care. That's probably not the worst they've stepped in.
Probably.
But no, that story is one that's stuck with me. So, I love that story.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favorites, and it's one that I've read for a very long time. So, it's in our area, and I think we're probably going to have to go hunt that down. What do you think?
Well, okay.
I love it. Okay, now I have another story.
Go for it.
And oddly enough, this one takes place in the Appalachian Mountains.
Am I not surprised?
Okay, this one is by Cataract. That's his
not his eyes.
online name. No. I used to drive a truck across the continental 48 states, from Maine to Los Angeles, from Seattle to Miami. I've driven the entire length and breadth of the United States. I drove exclusively overnight. It's my natural schedule anyway, and my driving partners always appreciated it. On this occasion, I was driving through the Appalachian Mountains. Quite late at night, somewhere around 3 a.m., I'm drinking a Mountain Dew, listening to an audiobook, Dark Tower 3: The Wastelands. All right, this guy knows what to listen to. And focusing on the road in front of me. Suddenly, some thing dashed across the front of me, my headlights. I only see it for a few moments, but there's something completely wrong with it. It's bipedal. Its head is in line with my windshield, which means it must be about 10 feet tall.
Wait, what kind of truck is he driving?
He's an OTR truck driver.
A what?
An over-the-road truck driver.
Oh, okay. I just didn't hear that.
10 feet. Wow, guys. It's hairy, and while it's human-shaped, there's something off about it that I can't explain. For those brief moments I see it, it looks misshapen, hunched over. All the lines are wrong. And then in a flash, it's across the road and gone, and I can never prove it was ever there. Short and sweet. I like that.
Pretty neat.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I'll read another one if you would like.
Yeah, go for it. I'm trying to get some people in chat here. It's kind of a quiet night. I know Matt and Shay are on an investigation tonight, so that's why they're not here. So good luck to them.
Yes.
I hope they find some good stuff.
I do too. It should be a fun night.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They went back to the Wilson Castle, I think it is.
Yeah, pretty place. Yep. Beautiful place.
Never been there.
No, I mean, I've just seen pictures, but it's amazing. Okay, this one's Hand of Doom 97. And he says, August 5th of 2017, Mammoth, California. My ex-fiance and I were avid climbers, hikers, and explorers of the east side of Sierra Nevada mountain range. And we decided to go up to Yosemite to climb. Ooh, I've been past Yosemite. Now that is a crazy place. It's amazing. The mountains are huge, and it's quite a sight. And it's rough terrain. Now, Yosemite is stupid crazy to get campsite reservations for, so we decided to stay on a BLM land a few miles down. BLM land. Not the same.
Okay.
The $3.95 from Mammoth, where we didn't have to pay for camping. Well, that sounds like us. We don't like to pay for camping. We pitched our tent and got settled in, made dinner, and then I went to go set up our trash bag about 1,000 feet from camp. I don't like having bears close to my tent. It started to rain a little, so we went into the tent and went to sleep around 2:30. It says 20:30.
20:30, so that would be...
He's using military time, isn't he?
20:30?
12:30. I think he meant 12:30. It was probably 1:30 on the 5th. It had stopped raining, and I had to take a leak. So I put my flip-flops and headlamp on, and I started to walk to the spot where I figured it's far enough away that I wouldn't attract anything. Now it had just stopped raining, so when it was dead quiet, and I dismissed the silence as everything was just hunkered down. So from where I was...
8 o'clock
Yeah,
p.m.
Okay. From where I was taking a leak, the trash bag was about 200 yards to my right. As I finished up, I looked to make sure the bag wasn't blown down during the relatively heavy storm that just finished up. And it wasn't in the tree, so I looked at the ground and saw the biggest black bear I'd ever seen. So I start hollering and screaming and making a lot of noise to scare it off. Then it fucking stood up and looked at me. Just covered in hair, stood about 8 feet with shoulders as wide as a meter stick. Then it ran off. I said, fuck this. Fuck this. I'm
Jesus
not
Christ,
going back
bad words.
to
What
the
fuck's
tent.
going on here?
I'm going back to the tent, and I sprinted the entire way. I get back in the tent, and my fiance asked me why I was yelling, and I told her I was scaring off a bear from the trash bag. She snuggled back in and falls asleep. I'm wide awake, listening contently. Why was he content? Why was he content?
No, you weren't contently listening. No, you weren't.
No. I think you meant constantly.
Probably.
Constantly for any movement when I start hearing footsteps around the car where we kept the food. And then the footsteps started coming toward the tent. I got scared thinking that this thing, whatever it was, could just come through the tent if it wanted to. It started touching the tent, and I could hear the heavy breathing and grunting. Then my fiance wakes up, freaks out thinking it was a bear, and grabs the keys and hits the panic button on the car. And whatever the creature was, it ran off. I didn't encounter anything again that trip, and I played it off to her as it was a bear, and we should probably find somewhere new to camp the next night.
You think?
No, not me. We're staying.
I'd be a bitch. I'd be like, nope.
No, we're staying.
You're Bigfoot bait now.
On August 5th, we packed up and left early to go climb Yosemite. Why would they go? Would they know that?
Anyways.
Well, and then we came back that night to a new campsite and approached another camper that I recognized from the previous one. He asked me if I noticed anything weird going on the previous night. I told him the story, and he said that he'd heard my screaming and the car alarm, and both times shortly after, something went at a full lope through his campsite. While going into his vehicle the next morning, he noticed that there were huge handprints on his car's windows and freaked out enough to move to a new spot as well. He pitched a tent 30 feet from where we were at, and we were together for the remainder of our trip. I'm not sure what I saw, but the closest thing that I can relate it to was a Bigfoot.
Cool.
Creepy.
So I'm gonna.
He needs to work on his grammar game.
Yeah, well, so don't I. I'm not the one that.
I'm
not going to speak
contently.
on that. Contently. So you're gonna have to help me out with his name.
Okay.
Alcovey.
Oh yeah, it's Alcovey. What? You reading something about Alcovey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Alcovey, Georgia.
Well, I know where that is.
Yep. So this is a very short one, and again, I'm not changing anything as far as language, anything that's written. I saw a big thing looking like a man, but real hairy. I was going down Alcovey Road about 9:30 at night.
I know where Alcovey Road is. I used to
There
live
are
right
no
by
lights
that.
along the road, and it is hilly in the area. As I approached Alcovey River, it ran out in front of my headlights. The thing stared at me just like a deer in the headlights. I almost wet myself. The thing was just huge. It stood there looking right at me. And then like something was chasing after it. The thing ran back into the woods. I sat there on the road for a little longer, making sure I was still able to breathe. And then raced home as fast as I could. Drive home in my car. I got home and told my family the story. It took a while to make them believe me, but they did. Jim Palmer. Let me guess, you know him too.
I do. I mean, there are probably more than one Jim Palmer, but I know somebody named Jim Palmer.
Mary Palmer.
I used to go swim in the Alcoa River.
Jim Palmer.
No, I never swam with Jim Palmer. Wow, I had no. And I've been out there. Never knew that there were Bigfoot sightings out there. I will tell you one interesting story though. Where I used to live, not far from the Alcoa River. I lived on this street, and it was actually a road because it's not a street because it's out in the middle of nowhere. My best friend lived across the street, and her family lived about a mile and a half up the street. Her sister and her mom and dad in two separate houses. So their family lived all up and down the road. Now, one night, I'm just watching TV in the house. You know, no big deal.
Alcoa River.
The house is about 25 yards off the road, something like that. And my friend's house isn't that much. You know, it's probably about the same. So, I'm sitting there, and then I smell a smell, and it smells like a skunk at first.
She tried to blame it on somebody else.
And it's just me and my 3 kids at the time. And the smell was just, got worse and worse. And, about 10, 15 minutes later, it was god-awful. And I thought, my God, there's a skunk under the house. But there's no way it could have gotten under there because there's nothing open for it to have gotten under. And it was just, the windows were all closed, the doors were all closed, and it got so bad that it started to burn my eyes. But then it started to smell like skunk and dead animal. And it was just worse. It just kept getting worse and worse. And I'm like, my God. And I called my friend across the street. I said, do you smell that smell? She said, yep, I'm in my house and I smell it. And she said, and it is bad. It's horrible. And then we hear this sound. It's something like that. I'm not even joking. Like, I'm telling you, we heard this weird sound, and it started going down the road, like from my house to her house, like, and then just shot down the road. And I'm not joking. She called her mama. A few minutes later,
what did she call her?
And she called her mama a few minutes later, and she said, Mama, do y'all smell this smell? Is it like something? And I'm not kidding you. As soon as it disappeared from over where we were, her mama smelled it and heard that same sound.
Right.
So what? I mean, that's. I don't know what else that could be, especially that skunky smell.
I hit the wrong button. But yes, that is coming up. We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back. I got to get a glass of water. I got some music for you guys, so hang in there. Oh, we didn't tell you in the beginning of the show. I do have some paranormal evidence, some ghostly evidence to share with you.
Yes.
After the second half.
Yes.
Yes, after the halftime show. All right, so enjoy it, and we'll be right back. and welcome back.
We were ready.
Kinda. So, how many more stories do you want to tell before we start sharing our stuff?
Maybe one.
One more? Okay.
Maybe one, two.
Because I have another one in Georgia. I haven't read another one yet.
Well, let's do two more.
Okay.
And then we'll go
All right.
from there.
So I'm going to try and find...
Do you want me to read mine first, or do you want
No, I got one.
Got it.
I got a 1970s Sasquatch story in Georgia.
I bet you I've heard it, too. I'm excited.
I'm just
Holy moly.
Yeah, it's about the same as the last one.
Get it.
Along the Flint River. Do you know what that is?
I do. I've been canoeing down the Flint River.
I quit. That's it. I'm going to shut my microphone off. That's
Look, I've lived in Georgia my whole life, so yeah, I've been canoeing down the Flint River.
I quit. Anyways.
It's a dirty river.
But it ain't like the Charles River in Boston.
Not that kind of dirty.
Yeah, it's fucking dirty water.
A lot of snakes.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of snakes up there, too.
Not the same kind of snake.
No. Along the Flint River in the vicinity of the central Georgia city of Griffin.
Yep. My friend used to live in Griffin.
Anyways, it's location of one of Georgia's most publicized pieces of Sasquatch evidence. The cast of a track with a dermal ridge that supposedly indicates the existence of an unknown primate.
In Griffin?
That 17.5-inch print was cast in 1997 by Sheriff Deputy. But 20 years earlier, and within a few miles of this place, a young teenager had a fleeting but frightening encounter with an animal that was out of the realm of anything he could consider existed. Today, Jeff Scott is trying to come to terms with what he saw that day on the banks of the Flint River. He searches through the vast amount of Bigfoot information available on the internet, and he returned to the location of his sighting. He is no longer embarrassed by the fact he saw something that is cataloged by the general public as strange or fanciful. Mm-hmm. Jeff Scott's search for answers began in 2008 during the time of Bollywood hoax. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
In Georgia.
I don't know what that is.
When two men, one a certified policeman,
Oh, yes, I do know.
claimed on national TV that they had the body of a Bigfoot.
In a
I
freezer.
remember this story.
Yep.
It was a lie, but Scott says what he saw was real.
That made me very mad when that happened, you know.
What, the echo?
No, the police officers.
Damn it. Back in 2008, they said they had the corpse of Bigfoot. You remember the hoax? I went down there, he said in July during a telephone interview from his home in Griffin. Based on what he has learned by studying reports, Scott, now 49, said he is certain he has found strong evidence of the creature still in that area. Scott's personal sightings go back more than 3 decades. Me and my cousin were down on the riverbank, he recalled. I was 17 years old when it happened, and I wasn't even thinking about Bigfoot back in those days. My cousin
Notice how everybody sees it with their cousin?
My cousin was down on the banks fishing, and I said, Russell, come up here. Up. Well, I gotta say it like, hold on. Russell, come on up here. Let's go around this bend and fish here for a while. You gotta say up air. Up air.
Up there.
He didn't go. Lord knows I went around the river bend and throwed my pole out and was sitting there by myself. I wasn't talking, just being extremely quiet when I heard something way off in the distance across from me. The river is real narrow up there too, he said. As he sat fishing, Scott said the sound he heard far off in the forest sounded like limbs popping. I didn't pay it no thought, and it started getting louder, and I thought it must have been a cow or something. Cow.
Yeah, a lot of cows in Griffin.
But he says it's coming down the river.
Yes, I guess they go down the river for water.
What do they use, an inner tube or something? And
I mean, I don't mean down the river like they.
Oh, to get some water. I didn't finish reading it. Never mind. I got closer and closer, and it got closer and closer, and a fear came over me. I started hearing big, huge limbs snapping and popping. It was frightening. I knew right off the bat there ain't nobody in the world that could make them kind of noise.
That's frightening.
Frightening. Scott said he was alarmed and his sense of flight set in, but he sat still. He said the bushes and vines on the opposite side of the river were moving, and he knew that whatever he had heard was near the river, sorry. I think I need new glasses. About time that thing came out with its arms, it parted the vines, and I saw it walking. It was just humongous how big it was. Solid black hair and shiny. I never saw its face. I saw it from the side. I saw its legs plain as day, arms and head, everything from the side. If I hollered at it, it would have instinctively turned and looked at me. But I didn't do that. I was so scared, he said. He got up hollering and running back, but he said he wasn't going to do that.
Wasn't going to holler at it.
But now he got up and started hollering.
Yeah. Just not hollering at it.
And running back to Russell. I never been so scared in my life, he said. Scott remembered he was in a near state of panic when he reached his cousin. I was shaking so bad he tried to get me to my senses. I said, "Man, we need to get the hell out of here," Scott said, adding, "He saw the fear in my eyes." They left and more than 30 years would pass before Scott had the desire to return to his location and stand where he had seen the creature. To this day, the only thing I regret about it, I was too scared to go back down there and see the devastation of the limbs that thing had snapped. I know the footprints would have been there, he said. The sense of fear Scott experienced that day was profound. The fear overcame me that this thing could kill me. Mankind has never captured something like that. The fear in me was indescribable, he said. Today, Scott does not harbor the same fear that overcame him as a teenager. I'm going to cut this one short because it just keeps going on and on and on about this.
Yep.
He doesn't believe these unknown creatures will kill unnecessarily. He has gone to spots on the Flint River on a number of occasions to look for them. The end.
Nice. Yeah, the Flint River is pretty cool. I could see where that would have happened. Man, it would have to have been pretty close for him to see that much detail.
But he did say he went back 33 years later on the spot at the end.
Well, you know what's interesting about that one, I think, is the fact that the animal's making so much noise coming down through.
Yeah.
I think, even though he thinks that it didn't see him, I think it knew they were there. And it was a display to scare them away because it was in their territory.
Yeah.
Or they were in its territory.
Yeah.
Even though it didn't make eye contact.
Right.
I think... Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, that would be my guess, is that was a display. Because it sounds very much like it was to me. Interesting. I like all these Georgia stories. They're pretty good. Pretty good.
Just stories.
I love them. They're encounters is what they are.
Anyways.
Okay, so this encounter is Southern Illinois.
Thank you for the like.
2002. Thank you. My encounter happened back in September of 2002 in Southern Illinois. A friend and I, not a cousin, a friend and I, both 16, just returned from seeing the movie Signs in theater. My friend's house was a good 10 minutes drive outside my encounter, Southern Illinois, 2002 of our town, which is already rural. Later that night, around midnight, we decided to take a walk down an old farm road next to his house. I wonder if they took their horse.
To what?
To the Old Town Road. Never mind. Next to the house that cut through the woods for about half a mile to an open field in the woods, roughly the size and shape of a football field. So we grabbed 2 flashlights and started out in the woods. The whole way we were trying to freak each other out since we just got done watching the scary movie. We made our way out to the clearing and were in the corner of the field closest to the house, and we heard footsteps from the opposite side of the field, pretty far off. Our crappy flashlights wouldn't reach, so we both turned off our lights to try and let our eyes adjust to the dark and squatted down. When we turned off the lights, the footstep sounds stopped. At this point, we are looking towards the opposite side of the field. A few minutes have passed, and we are talking quietly, trying to figure who the hell would be in the middle of the woods at midnight. Like them, you mean? Well, they are on a road, though. The closest neighbor lived about 3 miles down the road. Suddenly, to our right, we hear something massive running at us. This thing had to be huge. The sound of its feet hitting the ground is like nothing I've heard to this day. They just had so much weight behind them. The steps sounded bipedal, not 1 foot after, no, bipedal 1 foot after the other. Our adrenaline kicked in, and I moved faster than I had in my entire life. I literally felt like I was flying. We ran back to his house in a dead sprint and locked the doors. We briefly discussed what happened and went to bed. Strangely, we never really spoke about it again. I completely forgot about that night until about 9 years later. I recently got out of the Navy and moved back home. I ran into my friend from that night, and he brought it up. He had apparently put a good amount of thought into that night over the years. I wasn't very interested in the topic at that time, so I just kind of shook it off and moved forward in my life. Years later, I can't quite figure out what happened that night. There have been a few reports in my area during the same time period of a Bigfoot. Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I like it.
Awesome.
Well, and those are some awesome Bigfoot encounters.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep. Definitely is.
So now we are going to, I hope you guys enjoyed the Bigfoot stories. If you guys want to hear more Bigfoot stories, let us know, or any other cryptid stories.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we plan on doing this once in a while, so.
Yeah, I like digging into encounters because I think that's an important part of the whole cryptid subject is, a lot of the research that you do is looking up encounters because you find a lot of similarities from encounter to encounter. And that's the biggest thing when you're going like all across the world. Yeah. And you have all these similarities. It's pretty interesting. So, on to the next.
So, why don't we change headphones?
Okay.
And you'll be able to hear what we're going to play. All right.
Awesome.
So, for those that have been asking, we go to the Chastain House quite a bit. We go at least probably 2 times a weekend, and we go down, we see the caretaker, we check it out. He's just a lonely old fella that is just nice, and we like to hang out with him, and we get a chance to go in the house and do some research. So without further ado, we're going to start here. I'm going to just see that piece of paper over there, please.
Mm-hmm.
That one right there.
Now, the Chastain House is, every town has the old haunted house.
Yep.
And the Chastain House is Blue Ridge's old haunted house. Everybody knows about it. Everybody thinks they know the stories.
Right.
But, we
Right.
have a different opinion.
Right.
So, we went over some of the evidence that we've actually gotten. Finally.
I didn't even go over last night's.
No.
And I wish I did, because you would have had a funny blooper.
Yeah.
And I will tell you about that in a minute.
We'll tell you about it.
So the first one I'm going to play for you. I'm going to play it a couple times first so everybody can hear it. This is my stepdaughter, Lily. And she's talking, and she says a few things, and it kind of gets quiet for a second. You're going to hear a noise. I'm not going to tell you what I think it is yet. I'm going to let you make your own opinion. I'll play it a couple times, and then I'll tell you what it is. So here we go. Let's listen.
Evidently, she had to potty. Y'all got her a little wound up when we were upstairs. At least I think that was y'all. Evidently, she had to potty. Y'all got her a little wound up when we were upstairs. At least I think that was y'all.
All right. So what you're listening for is when she says she had to potty. It's right after that.
Evidently, she had to potty. Y'all got her a little wound up when we were upstairs. At least I think that was y'all.
So now, to describe the situation, she's in the house by herself. I had Circa with us. I was outside at the barn, which is a good 100 yards away, with Ricky. She was in there all by herself. So what you're hearing after she says, well, she had to potty, and then you hear what I think, should we tell them?
Yeah.
What I think sounds like a cough. A real quick one.
The fact that she was in the house by herself, too. There's no contamination out there. This place
None.
is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So nobody can sneak up. There was nobody else there. It was just the three of them on the property.
Yeah.
So this cough is anomalous.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is we're batting around a theory about someone dying in the house or on the property from tuberculosis.
Yeah.
We've actually gotten that a few times on the voice box, the spirit box. So I don't know.
So, and I'm going to play another one from the same night, and it kind of falls in with that one as well. So this one you have to listen to carefully. You'll hear it. It'll be just before you hear the door start squeaking. So let's play that one. Let's play that one instead of. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can get you the right one.
That's it.
Right. You'll hear it. Just listen before you hear the door squeak.
Right before.
Right there. Listen.
$11-second mark.
Yeah, well, they can't see this, but yeah, it's right at the 11-second mark.
Yes. That's a good one.
So, we think it's something breathing heavy.
It does sound like an exhale.
Yeah.
It really does.
I mean, you don't necessarily hear the build-up, but you hear the...
Yeah.
So, it's not the door. We tried to debunk it. It's not the door dragging on the floor. It wasn't me. It wasn't
Well,
Lily.
obviously, it wasn't any of you
It
guys.
wasn't
And
any of
Lily
us.
wasn't. Yeah.
Lily, I think, was with me, but Ricky was back at at his house.
Well, you can visibly hear that, you guys are not close enough
Right.
to, and plus you're walking in
Right,
the door.
right,
So,
right.
it was right before you walked in the door. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good catch.
So
This place, guys, we love it. And we go in there. We're so surprised by the stuff that we get when
Right.
we come out.
yeah, I mean, there's times we go in there and nothing happens, and
It's
then
quiet.
we come back and we listen to our data or our evidence, whatever you would like to call it, and this happens. We're not even to the good stuff.
No,
yet.
not
We're
yet.
really, really not. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to kind of build you guys up a little bit. So this one right here, we were asking for the previous owner, Mr. Chastain. Just listen to it. And I'll play it a couple times, and then I'll point it out.
Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you? Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you?
One more time.
Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that
Can't
you?
hear it on this
I can't
one.
hear it either.
Wow. That is strange. Why can't I hear that? Hold on.
Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you?
Yeah, all right. It's not doing any. Anyways, in this one, you can hear it on my Audacity when I play it back, but
Which is what's so great about Audacity.
Yeah. But in this one, if you people at home are hearing it different than us, after she says, hello, sir, we hear what sounds like a Class B hello.
Yeah.
It's very deep. It's kind of doesn't sound right, but the syllables make sense. Hello.
Yeah.
So that's that one. So now...
And see, we approach Mr. Chastain differently than most people do.
crap, I forgot to write all these down. So this one is another good one. We'll check this one out. This one is right there. All right, let's check this out. I'm going to mute the mic so you can hear it better. Actually, why don't we...
Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you? Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you?
So, I turned everything down, and now you could hear it.
I could hear it.
Hello. Hello. It was very deep.
Do it one more time.
All right, hold on. Let me turn it down.
Hello, sir. Mr. Chastain, is that you?
So there you go. All right. So this next one, should we do that one or this one?
Do that one first.
Well, my lines intersect. We're going to figure out which one's which. I'm going to go this one right here. This is what it is, I think.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
So I know there's crickets and everything else in the background, but it's shortly after, a couple, maybe a second or two after Cindy says something, whatever she's talking about, and then you hear what we think says, "Help me." So let's listen one more time.
That just really makes me sad.
Yeah.
As much as we're there, like, that makes me sad. That just, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, that really makes me emotional. I'm not even kidding.
All right. So this next one is pretty cool.
I'm becoming attached, I think.
Yeah. So this kind of tells me that we're really dealing with something that's intelligent. So let's, without any more gabbing, let's check it out. I'm going to shut off my mic and let you listen. Shut them out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage. Shut them out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage. Shut them out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage. So this one's kind of cool because it's in with me talking.
Yes.
Shut him out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage. And it wasn't Cindy. I was standing right next to her.
No, it's not me. It sounds like a little girl.
And we think it says, "Do you know my name?" So let's listen again. Shut him out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage. Shut him out of the house. I'm going to run around the house. Sage.
I
Interesting.
bet that's Alice.
Well, we're not done yet.
I know.
I think I got two more, but I'm not sure which one's which. So we're going to wing this one, and I'll know what it is. Again, same routine. Turn my mic down, let you hear it.
And I heard you say some different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you again. And I heard you say some different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you again.
Oh, that's my favorite.
So it sounds like Siren Head. I bet you them children's is still awake.
That phone's not charged.
He was playing with it.
I know, but it was only charging
Anyways.
like 10%.
Okay. So this one. What the hell is that? Seriously.
I don't know.
Anyways, this one is in between Cindy taking a breath and
It's a little bit of a whisper.
Yeah, sounds like we're saying we like to play. Let's listen one more time. I'm going to cut my microphone back just a little bit.
It's toward the end.
Okay, yeah, I'll point it out.
And I heard you say some different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you.
All right. It's right after she says, yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So check it out. I'll play it one more time.
And I heard you say some different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you again.
I got to admit, that is probably one of the best EVPs I have ever caught.
I love it. I mean, guys, this house.
You
is
have
just
no idea.
amazing. We love it, and we just keep going back because I think we're building sort of a rapport with them. It's gotten
And
to
I
the point
heard
now
you
where we
say-
go in, and I think because they're so used to us,
Yeah.
they really are calm.
Yeah,
Like
I think so.
You
And
know,
I
it's
heard
not
you
crazy.
say-
I'm sorry. I'm just jumping the gun here.
Okay,
I
is
want to
there
play
one more?
Oh, yeah, there's one more, but I
Let's
want to
do
play
it.
this one
Let's
more
do
time.
it.
I
Let's
love
do it.
listening to this.
Let's
Hold
do it
on.
one more time.
And I heard you say some different things.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you again.
Dude, I can't wait to show the judge this stuff.
I can't either. The thing is, they love the flashlight.
Yeah, and that's what we were doing. We set the flashlight and we put it down on the ground, and they tend to communicate with it. You can tell the difference between Alice and Mr. and Mrs. Chastain.
You can.
Because Alice just loves playing with the damn thing.
She does.
And then all of a sudden it'll quit.
It'll stop.
Yeah.
And that's when you know somebody else is around usually.
All right. This one, I can't remember what this one is, but I'm sure I will.
Didn't we listen to that one already?
I know I got another one.
Is it up on top?
No, we did that one.
What about beside it?
We did that one. We
did
did
that.
that. Did we do that
Yeah.
one? Sure.
Yeah, that's there. Listen.
Help me. That's what that is.
Hello, sir.
That's Mr.
Mr. Chastain, is
Chastain.
that you? And I heard you
We
say
did that one. That one's the door.
Yeah, I thought there was another one. Oh, you know what it is? No, it was, there was two other ones that I had, and I wasn't sure what they were, so I didn't put it on there.
Right.
There were noises, and it sounded vocal, but I didn't know what it said, so
Yeah.
I didn't really want to show you something
Yeah,
that I
I
had no
remember
idea.
those.
So that's what I'm thinking. There
But
was
those
two-
are the ones
Oh
right
my
there are
God.
really good. And guys, we have not gone through everything yet at all.
Right. I still have one more recorder. I have to go through it. One from last night we did,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna go again tonight. I mean, we just I don't know. I don't know what to say. We get good shit every time. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's just a cool
I mean,
place.
did you hear the EVP that Matt got at the Wilson Castle? It said, "Let him out," when Jeff was inside the coffin.
No.
Yeah, and it was clear as day. It was
Wow.
just like that. You could hear it. Even
cool.
he was playing it on the live,
Yeah.
and you could hear it off the voice recorder.
That's crazy.
Clear as day. That's the
That's
best.
crazy.
I mean, I think that's better than ours, but that is a clear Class A, the one Matt caught.
Wow. Well, see, I know there's some other stuff we've gotten
Yeah,
when we first went. We just,
can't find it.
it's somewhere.
So eventually I'll find it.
But I think we had some good stuff on there. That's when I love this. we got that.
Yeah, I have no idea where it went, but I got to try and find it.
This place is...
It's ridiculous. I mean, listen.
And I heard you say some different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
good
did.
job.
I sure did.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And if you can talk to me again, I will take it home and I'll be able to hear you again.
And they did.
Yeah.
They like to play.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The help me one still. It just does something to me.
At first, I didn't hear help, and
I did.
I thought it was responding no to her, and then I gave it to her, and she says, I hear help me, without telling her. And I gave it to the stepdaughter, and she says, no, I hear help me too, at 2 separate times. And I'm like, wow, that looks like I'm overruled, but whatever.
Yeah. Let's hear that one more time.
Which one?
That one.
This one?
Yeah.
It's really slight. Let's... No.
It's a man.
I couldn't tell you if it's a man or a woman.
It sounds like a man.
I can hear it one more time. I do hear that. Help me. I wonder if it's that soldier that he talks about.
I don't know, but that's terrible.
Yeah.
How do you help them?
I don't know. I don't think that we can. You know, that would be more of a psychic thing, I guess. I mean, it's not like I can give him a ladder and he climbs to heaven.
I know that.
You know?
It just, I guess.
I mean, the only thing that we can really do is give him a little bit of reality in a polite way. Look, you've passed on.
Well, I think maybe if we get more, we go through and see if we find anything else, we can kind of figure out who this person might be and go from there.
I think maybe tonight we should concentrate on who.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Wow. That just, even though we've already listened to them,
They still blow my mind.
Me too. It's amazing. And we love the Chastain House.
Oh, yeah.
We love Judge Sneed for letting us go.
Yeah, he's the best.
I hope he likes what we've got him so far. We love Ricky.
Oh, dude. Ricky's like my brother, who's like 65 years old.
He is a character, and you cannot
very much so.
help but fall in love with Ricky.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He is, for sure.
He deserves every good thing.
Yep.
He loves that place, and he was very, very happy to tell us last night that he is in charge, that the judge put him over everything there. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And he deserves it. He's put a lot of years into that place.
He put a lot of time in it.
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah. He can tell you a lot about the house. Some of it, I think, has, from people over time, has been fed to him. But most of it, I don't doubt that he sees and hears.
Oh, no, I don't
I really don't doubt it.
No, I don't. I really think he does. I think he is very sensitive.
Yeah.
And he sees a lot.
I think so.
I mean, that's what we've got so far.
Yeah. So far, so good.
We'll keep you guys updated.
I know my microphone's a little low, but we'll bring it back.
You know us. It's either Bigfoot or paranormal.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't help it if they run hand in hand.
They do. And we're out doing this like every weekend.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the week.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes.
It's great. It's great to be able to do both. We're blessed to live where we do.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And any of you guys ever come to town, we
Oh,
will
yeah.
show you around.
We got the keys, baby.
Because you will not get to
Yeah.
these places if you are just a tourist.
Yeah.
You definitely won't.
And if you don't, and I'm not trying to toot our own horn, if you don't know us, you ain't getting in there.
No, not
I'll tell
most
you.
places.
Oh, let's go to the blooper, and then we're going to end the show.
Yes, let's
so
do that.
Last night, Mr. Rick Rellis, a previous guest, gave me an idea for. You want to change headphones? Are you good? You good?
No,
All
I'm
right.
good.
All right. So Mr. Rick Rellis gave me an idea of some motion-activated battery-operated lights. So I tried them out last night. So I placed them in the house, one at the top of the stairs, one at the bottom, right over each other on the back side of the house. Anyways, nothing was really happening. We kept seeing this car drive by, pull up real slow like, and so they went by the first time, turned around and came.
You could hear when they went by the first time. They were like, "Do you see that?
Yeah, so I'd
There's a light."
I'd
There's a
mess with
light."
them. I'd turn my headlamp on and shut it off, make it flicker real quick. Like, did you see that? There was a light up there. So they go by. They go
took
up.
off.
They turn around. They come
Yep.
back. They go by the house, turn around, and come back. And just as I was going to mess with them, I'd passed the motion light and my shadow cast on the window just perfectly. And all of a sudden they slammed on the gas and they're like, "Oh, fuck," and just took off.
And Ricky said, "Let's get the fuck out of here."
Yeah. So they ran down that road in that
They
car.
took off.
And then I think they turned around later on, came back, turned around, back down the street, and pulled up in front of the house. Carload of kids. So when I see that, I tend to go outside because Ricky's by himself. And I don't like leaving the old man without any backup.
No, because they get mean to him.
Yeah, they do. And so I opened up the door, and I just stood in the shadows like the ninja that I am. And I listened, and he's like, and they're like, "Oh, can we go in the house?" Blah blah blah. And he's like, "No, ma'am. We got them ghost hunters are in the house."
That's what he calls us.
Yeah, that's what he calls us. You can't go in there tonight. I'm sorry.
He tells them the ghost hunters are in there doing an investigation and they can't go in.
Yeah, and then
They asked if they could come back, and he told them no.
yeah, and then she said, "Okay, well, looks like we're gonna have to fucking turn around or."
Yeah.
Well, shit. Oh, that's what it was. Well, shit. Well, it looks like we're going to have to fucking turn around with an attitude. A very narcissistic bitch attitude.
Yep.
And sorry, bitches. Deuces. You know?
No, you have to have permission.
Yeah.
Again.
You got to get it from the judge, period.
And people are sneaking in there,
and
and they're not supposed to.
And I think we forget sometimes who helped us out get into the house, and that's our good friend Gigi. I want to thank her for that, because without her, we never would have got in.
Oh, we love her.
So,
and she was friends with Ricky, and got us in touch with him and the judge, and the rest is history.
yeah, and we met the judge, and he told us, anytime you want, come on down.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what time it is,
Yep.
you go right in the house, no problems.
And we're out to show him that he is a wonderful place.
Yep.
And
Look, the house is not everything that everybody says it is.
it's not evil.
You know there's no hellhounds there. No, there's no skeletons walking around in the house. I've heard that. I've heard it's an insane asylum, children's school, doctor's office, battlefield
Orphanage.
hospital, orphanage. No, none of that.
It's been a home.
A home. That's it. So,
And a great home.
yeah.
And as far as we can see, nothing bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we haven't found anything bad yet.
Nope. Everybody's like, "Oh, you best be careful going in that house."
And we have to laugh.
Yeah. I'm like,
And yeah, I think it's our approach.
yeah. I
Because
really
we-
think it is.
Yeah, we go in there, with respect, knowing that it's their house.
Yep.
And we treat them like people,
Yep.
not like evil spirits.
Nope.
And, I mean, they've been great to us.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. What else do we have to tell about the house?
I mean, I think that's about it.
Yeah. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the flip side.
And remember, absence of proof is not proof
absence.
of absence. Good night.
Good night.